UFC 317. This is the weigh-in recap show. I'm going to take a look at each of these fighters on the scales, take a look at the ceremonials, check out the pretty intense face-offs that we had, and then we'll wrap up the video with my favorite section, Makai's Money Making Plays. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and let's get this video underway. Now, unfortunately, I was unable to get the best MMA bets video out this week. There was a power outage at my apartments, and all of my footage got wiped. So what I'm going to do for you guys is I'm going to crunch it into this video, and we'll get, my lock. I'll go through the most confident picks really quick. And, at the end of the video, you guys will get the parlays anyway. So that's where we'll do that. So for the lock of the week, if you guys follow me on, X or TikTok, we are going with Joshua Van. I got him at a really good price, -120. I think the value there is, super solid. ROYVAL is actually coming off of a concussion. He had to pull out of that Manal Cop fight earlier this year. I think Joshua Van is just a better striker overall, too. I think ROYVAL, he likes to close the distance in a lot of his fights. Joshua Van does have a height and size disadvantage, but where ROYVAL went to close the distance so much, he's not going to have to go and find Brandon ROYVAL. Brandon ROYVAL is going to be coming to him. I believe Joshua Van is the better striker. I think he can win it on the points. I think knockout is also live. I know Brandon ROYVAL has yet to be officially knocked out. Brandon Moreno did get a TKO, but it was just a shoulder injury, which, got the fight stopped. So it does say TKO, but it really wasn't a TKO. It really wasn't a TKO. But however, Brandon ROYVAL does get dropped quite a lot. He's been dropped a few amount of times. I do believe Joshua Van has the power that can put him out. Am I saying go bank on it? No. But I do think Joshua Van wins this fight by a decision. I think he's the quicker striker. I think his boxing combination, similar to what Ilia Topuria is going to be able to do against Charles Olivera. I think both of these fights are going to look a lot similar. And, one critique that has been against Joshua Van throughout his, short career so far is that he starts pretty slow. But if you look at the Bruno Silva fight, we just saw that has not been the case. He's starting fast. He almost got a first round knockout and ended up getting a third round knockout. I think Joshua Van can put on a spectacular showing for himself in this fight. And I do think he will be the next title challenger at the flyweight division. So give me Joshua Van. I got him at -120. Lock of the week to get this ball back rolling. We are pretty, down in the dumps right now, but that does not stop me from going at it. So give me Joshua Van. Most confident picks, we will go through them pretty quick. We got Jacoby Smith, Ilia Topuria, and Joanata DINIZ. I think all three of these guys are probably going to get a knockout. I'm more confident in Jacoby and Joanata to get the knockout. I think Ilia is going to get Charles, but I respect Charles so much, man. But I do believe Ilia is going to find a shot, maybe within 2 to 3 rounds. However, for Jacoby and Joanata, I favor 1 to 2 rounds, 1.5 for both of those guys to get it done. Favorite underdogs, we got Viviane Araujo +220, Peyton Talbot +160, and Hyder Amil at +140. I do think all three of those guys, two of those guys, or whatever Peyton Talbot is, I believe he's a man. I believe he identifies as a man. Go Pride Month. Viviane Araujo, I do think she has a chance in this fight. I think it's going to be a split decision either way. Peyton Talbot is definitely live. He's got this is a really good tag to get him at, especially, with a lot of people counting him out. I do think Felipe Lima is a tough fight for him, but he definitely has a chance. We have to see what that grappling defense looks like, though. Was he able to make, the improvements, or was he not? That's really what this fight is all about. And then Hyder Amil, I think he's definitely looking to put, his name on the map. International fight week, I don't see a, much better opportunity for him to do that. So look forward to seeing Hyder Amil looking, like the hurricane, in essence of his name. So with that being said, let's get to the weigh-in recap. First fight of the night, we got Joanata DINIZ taking on Alvin Hines. I am sticking with Joanata. I do believe he finds the knockout. Alvin Hines, when you look at him on the scale, he looks like he's just happy to be here. I'm not too, worried about his grappling in this fight. I think Joanata is a better striker. I think he's faster. I think he has more punishing blows. I think he's more calculated. He's got a bit of a, height and reach advantage in this fight. I do believe Joanata gets probably a first round knockout in this one. We will look at them on the scales. Also to mention, we did have a fight canceled because what was his name? Chris Evert, the guy that Jackson McVeigh was supposed to fight on shorter notice, came in like 10 pounds overweight, so he didn't even get paid. Cut him immediately. Jackson made weight, as you can see, got his show money and his not necessarily win money, but his win money. So I'm pretty sure the UFC will, get him a fight and probably a full fight camp. So shout out to him for making weight. But first fight of the night, Alvin Hines, as you can see, Mr. Humpty Dumpty, happy to be here. Made weight, I believe he was like 259 and a half or something like that. Here's Joe Nate. Got a little 4-pack going on. It's not, what you ladies will be looking for, but it's a little something, something. Now let's get to the ceremonials. As you can see, Joe Nate and Alvin. He looks super excited to be here. Here's the face off. You can definitely see the size advantage in Joe Nate. But yeah, give me Joe Nate by knockout. Think he gets it done within 7 minutes. Next up, we are going to Nico Price versus Jacoby Smith. I'm going with Jacoby Smith, locking it in. I think this is, the perfect prospect showcase matchup for him. Nico Price, I do respect him a lot. He definitely brings, some pretty excitement, or he does bring some excitement, but I do think he's going to fold in this matchup. Coming off the Themba Gorimbo loss, he's got one win in his last 4 fights. That one win was against Alex Morono, who has not shown to be on the rise as far as his career goes. You look at Jacoby Smith, this dude is powerful, he's explosive, he's strong, he's got good takedowns. The power is there, like I just said. The striking is there. I think he's going to shut Nico Price's lights out. Minus 2,500 favorite, pretty heavy tag for him as well. Is a little bit shorter and does have a reach disadvantage, but the way he's able to close the gap with his explosiveness, I don't think Nico Price is going to have time to set up anything. Here they are on the scales. Jacoby is pretty lean for the division, definitely shredded. May weight, no issues. Here's Nico. He was super excited to be here. He was yelling at everybody, hey, wake up. Nico Price always looks the same. Here they are at the ceremonials. Again, Jacoby's probably walking around at like 180. I don't think he, blows up much. Here's Nico. Nico actually looks a little better here than normal. Here's a little face off that you can see. Nico looks to be in good condition. If you guys watched the Embedded, this dude got 7 kids. I don't know how he's able to, maintain his career with 7 kids, but shout out to him and his wife, because that is a lot. But yeah, give me Jacoby Smith to get it done by knockout. Next up, we go into T-Rex McKinney versus Vyacheslav Borschaev. I'm rocking with T-Rex. I do think he's, his first round burst is something that can't be denied. Does he have the gas to go 3? I think he does today, or tomorrow rather. I think he can go 3 if need be, but I do think he probably gets Vyacheslav out of there. I think he's going to look to wrestle a lot more too. So Terrence McKinney by sub is definitely live, but I do think he finishes this fight inside the distance. Vyacheslav is a pretty, solid kickboxer, does have some pretty snapping kicks, but Terrence McKinney is too fast. I think he's going to be able to close that distance too quick. He's probably going to get Vyacheslav on wobbly legs, probably get him down and, get a rear naked choke or probably just pound him out. So Terrence McKinney inside the distance. It's just if they make it to that second round, it's a whole new ball game. You know what I'm saying? But I think he's gonna have the gas tank to go 3 hard if possible, if need be. Here they are on the scales. Vyacheslav made weight, no issues. Terrence actually came in at 156.5. They made him, or he dropped his draws, and he made 156 pretty easy. But he did look a little, sunken in on the scale. It wasn't concerning in my opinion, but definitely was dehydrated, obviously. If we could get all this Canelo Crawford stuff out of here. Here's Slava Claus. He's always been in pretty good condition. Here's Terrence. He definitely rehydrated pretty well. Here's the face-off. It looks like Slava's a little taller, but he also has that hat on. You know what I'm saying? Slava does look, maybe it's the angle, but he does look a little more bulky, I'll say. You can see it, in the bicep and the shoulders, definitely. But Terrence is pretty fast, man. I think he's gonna be able to do it. So give me T-Raw inside the distance. I think we have a lot of finishes on this card. Next up, Viviane Araujo versus Tracy Cortez. I'm going with Vivi, man. I think, this win over Karine Silva is better than just about every win that Tracy Cortez has had. This Jasmine Jasovicius fight, it was solid. But Jasmine started coming on late, definitely took her down a few times, was, getting in the grill, was pissing Tracy off. It ages well, but if you really go watch that fight, she wasn't, it shouldn't have been unanimous. I don't think it was a 30-27 type of unanimous. I think it did go 29-28, but she didn't dominate anybody really. What has Tracy Cortez done to warrant her to be, a -250 favorite against Viviane, who's, what's the critique against her? She's old. She can't be taken down sometimes. Viviane's pretty strong. The boxing is solid. Her, her Muay Thai. Like I said, in the prediction video, I think the uppercut is definitely gonna be there for her if Tracy tries to take her down. She's got the better jiu-jitsu. I think she could, a submission is definitely live. Turning right, Karine Silva, who, if you look at Karine Silva's record, we'll go through it. A lot of her wins are finishes, and she was unable to, get the finish on Viviane, who was aging, who was put there to, be washed out by Karine Silva. Decision with Ariane, Guillotine, Morena, Ketlin Souza, Nibar, Darce choke, Polyana. You know what I'm saying? Contender Series, Guillotine. She's got a lot of finishes. She's got what? Let's say plus 9. 17 finishes out of 18 wins. You know what I'm saying? Was unable to do it against Viviane. Viviane almost got a submission. I think Vivi's definitely live. Give me the underdog in this one. Here they are on the scales. Here's Tracy. Everybody loves her because the eyelashes, which, Rose actually knocked off in that fight. But I mean, she looks good. Here's Vivi. Looks pretty solid. Definitely more cut up than Tracy Cortez, I'll say. Stop doubting these Brazilian women, man. Here they are. Well, I don't know where Viviane is, but we could get Tracy. And here's the face-off. Looks like Viviane's a little bit taller. Maybe she has shoes on. I think Viviane is live for a split decision or maybe a submission. That's what I would go. Decision or submission for Viviane Araujo. Next up in the featherweight division, we got Hyder the Hurricane AMIL versus Jose Delgado. This is a hell of a fight to predict, but I'm going to go Hyder. I'm also going to say fight does not go the distance. I think both of these guys are pretty explosive. They both have, knockout power. One thing that has remained true in 2025, undefeated fighters have not been able to maintain their O, which could be a problem for Hyder here, but Jose Delgado does have a little bit of flaws. I do think Hyder can close the distance pretty well. I think he could shut down, the kickboxing range that Jose is going to want to stay at. I don't know. I think we're just going to see the Hurricane. You know what I'm saying? I think he's going to pressure him. I think he's going to smother him up against the cage, look for some takedowns. I definitely think he's going to incorporate that. However, I don't think this fight goes the distance. I think both of these guys could get clipped and possibly put out. So, fight does not go the distance. I don't have super high confidence in Hyder, but I do think he's capable of winning this fight. I don't think Jose is going to be, shut him out or anything like that. Let's go to the scales. Did I skip Hyder? Nope. Here's Jose. Looks pretty solid. Made weight, no issues. Got the, flat board abs coming in. Here's Hyder. Made weight, no issues. Again, looked pretty solid. Flexing on him. Here they are. We need to get. I think I might have recorded a little too early because MMA Junkie doesn't have the pictures. They only have the video from the weigh-in. But here is Jose. Try to find the face-off. We got a lot of Canelo Crawford stuff in here too. Let's see. Here's Hyder. There's Viviani walking out. Now where's the face-off? Come on. All this Canelo Crawford stuff, man. It's one thing that, Dana White is definitely conflicted about, in my opinion. I get, he's trying to expand his brand, but you got to separate the two. If you're mixing them, I mean, I get it. They're combat sports, but come on, dog. Do we not have the face-off picture? Maybe I'm blind. Am I blind? Okay. We don't have a face-off picture. Oh, I'm blind. My bad, chat. Right here in front of our damn faces with the American flag. Hyder, Jose Delgado. You see the bit of the height advantage for Jose. Hyder's covering, his shoulders and stuff like that. But damn, yeah, that height advantage is a little pronounced. Shoulders are at the chin. Could be, set up for a nasty straight shot to, Hyder. Probably put him on wobbly legs. But I like his recoverability. I do think if he does get hurt, he's going to shoot for a takedown, possibly get it. And then we'll see him, maybe ride the round out or, land some pretty solid ground and pound and win that round back. So give me this fight, does not go the distance. But I'm going to go with the underdog Hyder AMIL. Next up to the prelim finale, we got Jack Hermansson versus Gregory RoboCop Rodriguez. I'm going with RoboCop. I think his power is just going to be too far pronounced. I do think with him saying that he wants to, pace himself, especially coming off that Cannonier loss where, he started guns blazing, had Cannonier rocked and almost finished early, but, ultimately gassed out. I think a 3-round fight will suit him better. I think he's going to pace himself a lot more. And I think RoboCop is live for a decision victory. Jack Hermansson, he's only been knocked out, once or twice. I know the most recent one was against, he's got 3 knockout losses. The most recent one was against Roman Dolidze, but he was really just caught. And it was like a calf slicer almost, I want to say, and was just getting punched in the face. It wasn't like he was sleeping or anything like that. But RoboCop does have the power to sleep him. Does he do it? Maybe, but I do think with him saying out of his own mouth, he wants to, be a little bit more calculated, be more precise, and, take his time. I do think he's live for a decision win. Just don't, play into the kickboxing, point fighting style of Jack Hermansson, because that's definitely what he wants to do. Point, point fight, stick and move, stay on the outside, make it a little dirty. And then, if the finish comes, the finish comes. Just don't be overzealous for it. That's all I'll say. Here they are. RoboCop may wait, no issues. There's Jack. Jack looks pretty good. Looks really good, I gotta say. Let's get to the ceremonials. I think it's on the first page. Yeah, I think it's on the first page. I got bad eyes, chat. My apologies. Yep. Here's Jack. Didn't see RoboCop. I see the face off right here. Angle's bad. I don't think RoboCop was that much taller watching it live, but I do think he's gonna land some, thunderous shots. Maybe put Jack on wobbly legs and force him to retreat, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I can't find the let's see, 6'3", 6'1". Yeah, it's only 2 inches. And RoboCop's at a reach disadvantage, so Jack is definitely gonna look to stick and move. But I don't think he's gonna be able to for the whole 3 rounds. I think he's gonna get hit pretty hard and shy away from, the exchanges. So give me RoboCop decision. Moving on to the main card. If you guys haven't already, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I need them subscribers to go up. We almost at 50. We hit 50. I might, do a little something crazy for you guys, but the goal is definitely 100 by August. So if you guys can make that happen, share the video, boost the comments if you can, trying to get the algorithm up. But we got Frank Ocean's boyfriend versus Felipe Lima, Peyton Talbot. I'm going with Felipe Lima. I think he's too well-rounded for Peyton Talbot. I'm not writing Peyton Talbot off, but your career is not necessarily over with, 2 back-to-back losses. Ryan Barcelos definitely, made a statement with that win. Pretty big underdog upset in that fight. But Peyton Talbot's definitely a solid striker. Can he remain on the feet? That's the question. Because I think Felipe is definitely going to look to do exactly what Barcelos did. Maybe he finds a submission. You never know. Felipe's transitions are pretty quick. If you look at the Mohamed Neymar finish that he got in the 3rd round, got him down, jumped on his back, and was under his neck within 10 seconds and finished the fight. He's pretty slick. He's pretty savvy. He is a little shorter, does have a reach disadvantage, but Felipe is no slouch on the feet either. Dude is legit everywhere. So here they are on the scales. First time cutting a bantamweight in the UFC, and he made weight, no issues. Dude is super lean, super cut. Looks pretty good. Here's Peyton. I mean, he looks straight. Looks straight. Or he looks okay. Let's get to ceremonials. Here's Peyton. And Felipe right here. And here's the face-off. The height doesn't look to be that pronounced, but it could just be the angle, But I think Felipe by decision. I know they're both looking to finish, but I don't know if these guys are pretty tough. Peyton takes a pretty solid shot. Felipe takes a pretty solid shot. And he was fighting up at featherweight, you know what I'm saying? So I think he should be able to handle some bantamweight pressure. Next up on the main card, we got Benny Benil Dariush taking on Renato Money Moicano. I'm going with Benny. I'm locking him in. I think he's the better wrestler. I think he can nullify the grappling, the striking. I think he has more power. Moicano, his first round is pretty solid, but then we'll see him start to wear down. If it goes to, all 3, I think Benil is going to be able to keep up the same pace. I think he's going to be able to use the wrestling, tire him out, and force, Moicano to try to get back to his feet if he does take him down. And it's going to, definitely open up the opportunity for some things. Not saying that Benny, finds a submission or anything like that, but maybe some ground and pound is live. Not saying to finish either, but, just scoring. That's just going to open up more opportunities for Benil to score. Is his chin gone? That's the one question. I don't know. He got knocked out by Arman, and right before that, he was knocked out by Charles. Was a pretty quick, turnaround for both of these. So that could have been what it was. But these are, 2 of the top 5 lightweights in the world. Moicano is not that great. He won this. What they were supposed to fight on the card back in January. Arman took too many back shots, and Moicano stepped in on short notice, got that fight with Islam, got finished in 4 minutes, 3 minutes, something like that. He got paid, man. I'm not sure if he has the same hunger to win again. I think Benil probably edges this out on decision. Here's Moicano. He looks to be in better shape, I'll say. Definitely from, the last time we saw him. Got the abs going. There's Benny. He's always looked pretty wide. There's Money Moicano on the scale. The walkout. Let's find Benny. Let's find Benny. Benny, where you at, Benny? Where's Benny, man? There's Benny. Pretty solid. Here's the face-off. MOICANO looks to be a little bit taller. I believe he does have the reach advantage, but his Muay Thai is solid. But I think it's solid for one round. I think round 2, round 3, we'll definitely see him wear off. So give me Benny, another underdog to get it done. I think this might be a pick'em actually. Next up to the featured fight of the night, we got Brandon Raw Dog Royval versus Joshua Van. As you guys know, I don't need to go too much more into detail. I just gave you the lock of the week at the beginning of the video. Joshua Van, I think he gets it done. Decision, knockout is definitely live. I know he's, much smaller, much shorter, reach, whatever you want to call it. I think Joshua Van carries the power enough to knock out a Brandon Royval. Brandon Royval has said out of his own mouth also that he's looking, if he loses this fight, he's looking to move up to 135, even said 145 is a possibility. That just tells me that he's not super confident, in himself to win this fight. Why not just get out the young man's way? You know what I'm saying? Give me Joshua Van, lock of the week. I think he's getting it done. Decision, knockout, definitely possible. Here he is, made weight 125.5, coming off a 3 weeks notice. Just got a knockout 3 weeks ago, bro. Here's Brandon Royval. He's always looked pretty sunken in the face. I never thought he was, a locked in flyweight. You know what I'm saying? I think he's better. He might do better at bantamweight. Just does he carry the power? Not really. He has pretty good volume, but power. I think a fight with if Corey loses, him versus Corey, or who else is up at bantamweight? I know who's up at bantamweight, but like trying to think of like somebody. Trying to think of like 10 and below. I don't know the rankings right off of my head. Let me go to them real quick. Where's bantamweight? Maybe a Cheeto fight, Rob Font fight. Rob Font could possibly knock him out though. Rob Font got some power. Song Yadong got power. Montel Jackson. There's no easy fights. I don't know. Maybe bantamweight is not the move for Royval. Maybe he needs to stay where he is. Bautista could definitely tune him up. Bautista's pretty big too. I don't know, Brandon. 135, you sure? Maybe a Jonathan Martinez fight. Maybe that's what they'll probably give him. Yeah, bantamweight is loaded. Ooh. Imagine Royval versus Wellmaker. Yeah, Royval might want to think that over again. Let's get to the ceremonials. Here's Josh. Looks pretty solid, man. Dude's locked in. He's ready for, to take this opportunity of a lifetime to get the next title shot. I think he's going to be able to take it as well. Let's get to Brandon. Enough of this Canelo BS, bro. Here's Brandon. Rehydrated pretty well. Can we get the face off? No, just more Canelo and Crawford. Ilya, Pantoja. There we go. You can see the height differential. Joshua Van definitely looks stronger. Royval's pretty slim. The height isn't really that far pronounced though, man. And like I said, Brandon Royval likes to close the distance with his striking. I think Joshua Van could do it. That chin isn't as tough as, it seems to be. I think he could definitely crack him. He's got the power. So give me Joshua Van, decision or knockout. Next up to the co-main event of the evening, we got Alexandre the Cannibal Pantoja versus Kai Kara France. Going with Pantoja. And there's a lot of love on the KKF side. He can land a knockout, da 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 da. I don't think he's gonna do it. We've seen Pantoja be able to walk through any and everything. Granted, Steve Erceg, Brandon Royval, Brandon Moreno don't have the power that Kai Kara France has. They're more, I would say, they're more precise, more accurate than Kai Kara France. Royval had a lot of volume in that fight. Definitely had a live, fifth round. But again, Pantoja was able to walk through everything, secure some takedowns, get on his back. Erceg, he pretty much dog walked him for. No, I'm lying. It was a pretty close fight. Steve Erceg is a more calculated striker than Kai Kara France. Kai Kara France really just has, the power. This loss to, Amir Albazi, yes, it was a slight robbery, but again, it was still too close to even be that far upset. You know what I'm saying? He's really just getting gifted this title shot because of the knockout over Steve Erceg. I think, Royval or Cop definitely would have been next. I think it was probably going to be Cop. But, Cop's not in the good graces of the UFC. So here we are. I think Pantoja is going to be able to take him down, secure his bag. I think submission is definitely live. And I think Pantoja, with a win here, can submit himself as one of the best flyweight champions ever. So give me Pantoja, decision or submission. Here's Kai Kara France. I mean, I like Kai Kara France, but Pantoja's one hell of a dog, man. I don't think he's gonna be able to. I don't think he's gonna be able to do it. If he does beat him, if it's by knockout, then the Matrix is cracked. You know what I'm saying? Here's Pantoja. Dude is always locked in. Iron chin, I'm telling you. Let's get to them on the scales. Don't get me wrong, I like Getty Images, but how, unsequenced this is, it really pisses me off. Here's Kai Kara France. Here's Pantoja. Dude shredded. Here's a face-off. I get it's cultural, but man, it pisses me off sometimes when he does that. Oh man, I respect it, but I don't know. It's kind of cringy. You know what I'm saying? Give me Pantoja to remain and still. Next up to the main event of the evening. If you haven't already, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. The vacant lightweight championship is on the line. Ilia El Matador Topuria versus Charles Du Bronx Olivera. We are going to see a slaughtering of Charles Olivera. Ilia Topuria is going to rip to the body. This is how the first round is going to go. I think that we do get out of the first round. Ilia's going to find his range. You know how he plots side to side. Charles is going to come out pretty heavy. Probably score. Probably. I don't think he gets a takedown or anything like that. But it's going to be a really calculated first round. Ilia's going to find his range, get the reads. Just going to chop that leg a lot. That lead leg of Charles a lot. Second round, if we do make it there, Ilia's going to explode on him. He's going to close the distance, rip to the body, come over the top. We're going to see Charles hurt, wobbled. He's going to go down. He's going to recover. Ilia's going to do the same thing and put him out. Ground and pound ground and pound, TKO. I don't think Charles is going to be able to survive the power. Ilia is too strong, man. I don't think Charles is taking him down. Getting under a smaller guy, it means you're going to have to, really, really shoot. And that's going to require a lot of timing, a lot of accuracy, and you're going to have to be super strong because Topuria's base is pretty solid too. I know Bryce Mitchell took him down, but look what he did to Bryce Mitchell. Ragdolled him and put him out quickly. I think Ilia Topuria backs up everything that he says. I think he's going to knock out Charles Oliveira within 2 rounds. I'm going to hate to see it, man. I'm a huge Charles Oliveira fan. But Ilia is definitely one of them ones, bro. And the dude is only 28. He's only getting better. He has the opportunity to become one of the greatest combat sport athletes of all time. With 3 knockouts over 3 legends, it's insane what this dude is capable of, bro. And I do think he's gonna be able to do it. Just give me Ilya Topuria by finish. Here's Arman, weighing in as the backup. Arman, get your own fight, bro. You think you're getting, the next title shot? You're not, bro. Go fight Patty. Go fight Justin. Or go fight the winner of Dustin Max. You know what I'm saying? Hell, go fight Dan Hooker. You're not getting the next title shot, brother. Your back's gonna hurt then. I'm not buying it. Here's Charles. He always looks super drained, bro. 154.5 for Charles. Made weight, without a doubt. Here's Ilya. He looks good at 155, bro. Doesn't look to be drained or anything. I wonder how much weight he cuts. I think he did say he walks around like 170, 180 maybe. He looks perfectly fine. Shout out to Bronx. Shout out to Bronx. Melina, Brazil. I love Charles, bro. I got gloves signed by him in my kitchen right now. You know what I'm saying? I love Charles Olivera, but it's gonna go down, bro. Here's Ilya walking out. Let's get them on the scale. Of course. Let's get to, what the people want to see. Ilya on the scale. The face-off. So much respect between these two, and man, Ilya is going to hit him with something hard. Look at what Michael Chandler did in round 5. It's going to look similar to that, except Ilya is going to finish it. I promise you, he's going to finish it. Oh, man. This is a great card. International Fight Week has not disappointed. And this card is, that on paper, 9.5 out of 10, 10 out of 10, damn near. The 2 at the top, that's really what sells it. And as much as I don't really care for Kai Kara France, I do like him, but I don't really care for him. But the combination of these two is just top tier, bro. I'd really like International Fight Week this year. This is a really good card. That is the final picks for International Fight Week. Let's get to my favorite section, your favorite section, Makai's Money Making Parlays. I'm pulling them up now. First up, we got Joshua Van Pantoja plus 143. That's the next featherweight title fight. Mark my words. I think that's definitely live to hit. Plus money too for some pretty solid favorites. Then we got Benil money line, Hyder Amil money line, and under 1.5 price. Nico Price versus Jacoby Smith, pretty solid price there as well. Then we're going to Ilya KO, Joanna DINIZ KO, and Joshua Van moneyline plus 398. Got to throw the lock in. Got Jacoby Smith by KO, Gregory Rodriguez by KO, and Pantoja sub or points plus 574. Gregory Rodriguez moneyline, Terrence McKinney by knockout over 2.5, and the Dariush versus Moicano plus 600. And then we got Pantoja moneyline, Felipe Lima moneyline, and Dariush by points plus 693. I got a lot of confidence in all these plays, man. I think we're definitely hitting a good majority of them. And definitely trying to make some money back from Baku because, man, we got robbed. We did hit one play, but Nardiev, bro, totally shit the bed. Illegal knee. What more could I say? But that is what I got for Makai's Money Making Plays. Immediately after the card is complete, I will do the full card recap. So make sure you guys tune into that. Thank you for tuning in to the weigh-in recap today. I'm super excited. I can't wait. I just can't wait for tomorrow night, bro. It's going to be a movie. We're going to see a new, champion crowned. We're going to see a champion retain his belt. We're going to see some prospects on the rise. It's a really good card. I'm super excited. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll catch you on the next one.